Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Nayel.
I'm Armanis.
In today's video, we're going to be talking about gossip. A gossiper is someone who has information about someone and reveals it to other people in the form of venting, spreading rumors, or sharing opinions. Gossip is a grave sin that can be very dangerous and causes people to be divided. And it's also a common sin in churches today because people are just talking and spreading things about other people, and we're not realizing that we're gossiping. We think we're just communicating and having a nice conversation, but what we're really doing is called gossip, and it has to stop now. Scripture speaks strongly against gossip. In both 1 Timothy 5 verse 13 and 2 Thessalonians 3 verse 11, they both condemn busybodies who speak about things not proper to mention. And here are some reasons you should not gossip.
Our first point is gossip destroys friendships and divides people. By its very nature, gossip is very adversarial. It could basically put people against each other without intentionally doing so, whether you mean to gossip or whether you don't. Gossiping is always something that basically stops someone from accurately representing themselves. So like, for example, you could be talking about somebody or talking about a friend of somebody, whether it's in a bad or good way, and that person, you could be accidentally falsely representing that person because you're speaking things about them in secret to someone else, and that person thinks a certain type of perspective about that person, when in reality it's not really true, and it was only caused because you were gossiping about that person. What you should be doing is that you should accurately represent someone. So you should, if you're going to tell somebody something about somebody, you have to make sure it's right. You have to make sure that you even have the permission to do so in the first place. So in Proverbs 16 verse 28, it says, "A forward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separate chief friends." Meaning, if you have nothing good to say, just don't say it. If you don't have anything good to say, if you don't have anything accurate to say, if you don't have something to say that is from the heart and that is even allowed from the person that you're speaking about, you probably shouldn't say it because you could divide friendship, destroy whole families.
Point number 2, gossip degrades your character. While gossip aims to attack somebody else's character, you're really attacking your character because you're showing others what kind of person you are by talking about other people. Sometimes while you think you're gossiping with a friend, that friend is really thinking in their head, wow, this person is always talking about somebody. So now they're starting to see another part of you that they probably haven't realized before. Spreading stories about somebody shows that you have a lack of commitment, forgiveness, honesty, kindness, and even respect for others. If you have a problem with somebody, then it's best that you respect them enough to go directly to them and tell them, humble yourself, talk to them about the issue, and then resolve it right then and there, rather than going to somebody else and telling them, oh, such and such did this and that, and I don't like them because of this. You're really, showing your true colors by going to other people rather than going to that person and talking about the issue that you have with them.
Point number 3, gossip is harmful. The reason why people gossip, or the purpose of gossip, is to tear down and erode one's self-esteem. And when a person has a low self-esteem and is destroyed and broken, what usually ends up happening is they suffer from suicidal thoughts, depression, and extreme anxiety, because what the person is going to be thinking is, this person said this about me, this person thinks this about me. It's not even just things that people say, it's like what you think people are saying about you. And then it's the assumptions, and it's basically the forethought of you thinking what everyone else thinks, like what they might be potentially thinking about you, becomes a massive issue, because now it's not even about what they're actually saying about you. It's what you're assuming what they're saying about you, and it's messing up your mental state. It's messing your life up spiritually, because you can't even focus on yourself. You can't even give a proper evaluation and review of yourself, because everything that people say, you put that in your soul, you put that in your mind, and you let that represent yourself. When in reality, you should let God represent yourself. In reality, you should care about what God thinks. In reality, you should care about what God thinks about you and how you're accurately portraying Him. And it doesn't matter what people say, because at the end of the day, we go before one judge, one God, and He's the one that decides who we are and who we were when we are living this life. What I'm trying to say is that gossip is hurtful and it's damaging, especially nowadays in the church, where a group of people gathered together. It's very easy to get information, whether it be public or sensitive information. It's very easy to get information on people, and it's very easy to spread some information because you're in one group together on a weekly basis, sometimes on a daily basis. You're just getting this information about people, and not everyone in church obviously has good intention of being there. So you have to watch out for people that spread a whole bunch of gossip to everyone and just speaks falsely about everybody else. And this is the type of thing, this is the type of sin that gets a lot of people to leave the church, because I hear this a lot at almost like everywhere I go, where, people say, I don't go to church anymore because everyone in church, all they do is talk about people. All they do is judge people. All they do is this, that. And it's always connected to what somebody has said about them, what they think people are saying about them, how, feel like how they're being falsely represented amongst a group of people. And we have to really watch out for that, because it really destroys someone's view on the church. And then if it destroys their view on the church, they're not going to want to go to church. And then if they don't want to go to church because of the view of the church, then they will also use that same type of rhetoric to also falsely judge the Bible itself. And then that person is basically closed off from being redeemed, from being saved. So what are we going to do then? The point is, gossip hurts people, not just ourselves, not just people in the church, but people outside the church, the people that's visiting the church. It destroys people. Gossiping is it's like a cancer. It destroys.
Overall, we know that gossiping is spreading lies, and God hates lies. God does not care about your position in church, no matter who you are. You can be a minister, a reverend, a sister, a brother, a new believer. He does not like lies. He does not like the spreading of gossip. The Bible tells us that we must keep evil out of our mouth, and lying and spreading gossip is evil. In Psalms 34, verse 13, it says, "Keep thy tongue from evil, and keep thy lips from speaking guile." And if it's not you who's speaking evil of another person, and maybe it's a friend, the Bible says in verse 14, "Depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it." So if you're hanging around with a group of people and they start to gossip and you know it's not something that you should do, you should move away from it. You should excuse yourself from that situation, or even speak up and say, "Hey guys, this is not right. We shouldn't be talking about that person."
Ephesians 4, verse 29 says, "Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it be minister grace unto the hearers." Instead of talking negatively about someone, try to help them in areas that they fall short in areas that they fall apart on. Try your best to help that person instead of just tearing them down and destroying them. If you're going to talk about somebody, let it be used. Let that communication to somebody else, let it be used to help someone, not to destroy, not just disperse and dispense information about that person to somebody else. Don't do it for no reason. Do it with the purpose and with the action of giving them grace and giving them help in God. You can't pray for someone and talk about them at the same time. You can't gossip about somebody and pray for them at the same time, because you're doing the harm to that person. That person's already going through stuff already, and the gossip is only making that burden on them even stronger. What we are supposed to do is make that burden lighter. Even Jesus says, "My yoke is easy and my burden is light." Because Jesus is not trying to give you a heavy burden. He's not trying to give you a heavier burden that you already have living in this world that's full of evil. What God is trying to do is trying to lighten the burden and make things easier for you.
If despite your best effort, you come across somebody who's gossiping or you hear gossip, don't judge that person that is being talked about. You can either A, ignore what you heard, B, pray for that person, or C, go to them and help them out. Don't tell them, "Hey, such and such was talking about you," because then you're also gossiping. Although you think that you're doing the right thing by telling them what this person said, that's a form of gossiping also. You're spreading from one person, next person. You can go to that person, help them out from based off what you heard. "Hey, I heard this. Is this something that you're going through? If not," because like I said, it could be lies. You can go to that person and ask, "Is everything okay? If you need help in any way, I'll pray for you. I'm here to help," instead of gossiping. If you like that video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications so you can be notified every single time we post. And stay tuned for our next videos. Bye.
Bye.